Guys, it's your host here, Spartanic Arts DxD, back with another anime video. Today we're going to be doing Darling in the Franxx Season 2 Chances and Possibilities, or a release date update in general. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Right into the news, the first thing that I wanted to address was this interview with Honey's Anime. In this interview, he was asked about making a sequel to the series, and this was his response. He said, "My mind is completely emptied out. If over time my passion wells up once again, and we can get a good team of creators, then maybe." And basically what this means is that he would be willing to do another series if he has the right team of creators, or, you know, if the ideas come back in his head again. Because if you guys don't know, a common misconception would be it is a manga only, when in reality it was an anime adaptation, which means the anime was created before the manga, and the manga came after to like clear up some edits and things and add more fan service, I guess. But yes, but the one part I want to focus on is he says his mind is completely emptied out, and take that into consideration. If his mind's completely emptied out for now, obviously he probably does not, he just wants to move on to another series or just do something else. But obviously if the passion comes back, he might create a season 2, or, you know, revamp the series. You get the point. So let's go ahead and move on to the next part. One that I did want to address was, will this anime get a reboot instead of like a season 2? And to that, my personal answer is probably not, and this is my reason why. So for example, something like Full Metal Alchemist can get a reboot. Correct. Okay, that is absolutely 100% true. But Full Metal Alchemist was one of the greatest animes of like all time. And I'm not saying Darling in the Franxx is not that great, but no offense, it's really not comparable to something in popularity like Full Metal Alchemist. See, at the prime time, maybe Darling in the Franxx was kind of comparable, but not really, to be absolutely frank with you. Because as you know, Full Metal Alchemist is on pretty much everybody's top 10 anime of all time list, when Darling in the Franxx is just kind of like a fan service series. I know it has like a dedicated story. Don't get mad at me in the comment section, all right? But that's just my personal opinion. And some people like to compare it to like something like Skate the Infinity that got a reboot. But you guys don't understand. I mean, Skate the Infinity is like a completely different show. Just because that got a reboot doesn't mean this is going to get a reboot, okay? If you guys get what I'm trying to say. So let's go ahead and scroll into the next thing. People are going to bring this up in the comment section and be like, well, in the last episode, and I quote, this was said, "A new story begins." But if you guys don't know, it's kind of like the quote, like, this is the beginning of an end, if you know what I mean. It's like a metaphorical ending, you know, something just ending off, or like a new chapter of life, obviously, if you know what I mean. But this also can be taken two ways, okay? Obviously, he meant this by like, hey man, that we're moving on to something else, or, you know, they could possibly reboot the anime or create a season 2. This could be taken in two different ways, whatever you want to go with, okay? Now, this can be rolled back to the what the director said of in the interview, obviously, when he goes, you know, maybe we'll do something if my passion comes back up. Okay, this could be obviously taken in two different ways, but this is for you guys to decide. It's not really my opinion. In my personal opinion, I don't think there's going to be season 2. If something were to come back, it would probably be a reboot. So let's go ahead and get into the next thing. Next thing I wanted to address would be like, well, what do you mean it's an anime adaptation only? And for the new people to anime, I will explain this. So basically, it means it is an anime only. The anime was created before the manga. So the reason why I don't think there's going to be a season 2 is because there's no actual source material to go off of, which means it's harder to make a story, because then they have to write the story and animate it at the same time, which gets a little harder than obviously just following like a light novel or a manga of some type of story like that, if you do get what I'm trying to say. So that is basically it for my Darling in the Franxx video. Thank you for 8,000 subscribers once again. We're at 8,070 subscribers right now. I thank you so much for all the support. Without further ado, Spartanic Arts DxD out.